Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the International INOC Seminar on Latest Developments on Marine Science. I am Bülent ÇAVAŞ from Inter-Islamic Network on Oceanography. I am the Secretary of INOC. I will moderate this event, this seminar today. In this seminar, we will focus on sea turtles, and we have 4 distinguished guests, keynote speaker from 4 different countries: Malaysia, Turkey, Libya, and Morocco. Before starting the seminar, I would like to kindly invite President of INOC, Dr. Şermin AÇIK ÇINAR, to officially open this seminar. Dr. Şermin AÇIK ÇINAR, floor is yours.
Thank you. Dear scientists and participants, on behalf of the Inter-Islamic Network on Oceanography, shortly INOC, I would like to very welcome you to the 3rd INOC event on the latest developments on marine science. This time, we have speakers from 4 different Islamic countries: Turkey, Malaysia, Libya, and Morocco. It's a great pleasure for us to see the INOC research network growing steadily over the years. I'm confident that such networking activities will positively affect research opportunities in the field of marine sciences among Islamic countries. The marine ecosystem plays numerous fundamental environmental functions: regulations of the climate, prevention of erosion, solar energy accumulation and distribution, carbon dioxide absorption, and maintenance of biological control. Marine ecosystem hosts a wide range of organisms, including macroorganisms, algae, plants, invertebrates, and vertebrates. Marine ecosystems is under anthropogenic threats, adversely affecting living resources, human health, marine activities, including fishing and seawater quality. Today, we will listen to the scientists' talks about one of these organisms, sea turtles, that have become endangered as a result of adverse consequences of human activities. I would like to thank the following institutions for their contribution to the realization of this event: COMSTECH, the Organization of Islamic Cooperation-Standing Committee on Scientific and Technological Cooperation, Pamukkale University, Turkey, University Malaysia, Terengganu, Malaysia, Ministry of Environment, Libya, University of Abdelmalek, Estadi, Morocco. I will finish my talk giving you some updates from Inter-Islamic Network on Oceanography. The INOC network is expanding day by day, and that new countries contribute to the INOC network by joining and collaborating with us. At the last COMSTECH meeting, it was stated that the scientific and technological cooperation between Islamic countries is very important, and COMSTECH is ready to support for collaborative research and educational work on marine science. I would like to share with you the news that INOC will start face-to-face scientific trainings as the effects of the pandemic are gradually disappearing. The INOC Center is carrying out serious studies on the subject, and we will soon share the names of these scientific activities with you through our website. For that reason, I suggest you to keep visiting INOC web pages for research, education, and collaboration opportunities. I will be more than happy to see you in other INOC activities. Thank you for being here with us today.
Dear President, thank you very much for your opening speech. And it is time for us to listen distinguished guests. It is great pleasure for me to invite first speaker, Professor Dr. Yakup Kaska from Pamukkale University, Turkey. Actually, I had great experience with Dr. Yakup Kaska during my university education. I had opportunity to work with him, one of the sea turtles project in Northern Cyprus and Mediterranean Sea in Turkey. So I want to also give short information about his academic background before he's starting. He graduated from Dokuz University in Izmir. He worked as biology teacher and completed his master education at the same university on sea turtles. Then he finished his PhD on sea turtles at Glasgow University in UK in 1998. He became lecturer at Pamukkale University, become professor in 2011. He has more than 50 papers and more than 200 presentations at national and international conferences. He has involved many research activities supported by TÜBİTAK, Turkish Ministry of Environment, European Union, MAVA Foundation, and many others. He is collaborating with many organizations in the Mediterranean. He and his team organized 35th International Sea Turtle Symposium in Turkey. He established the first sea turtle research, rescue, and rehabilitation center, Dekamer, in Turkey. He is currently one of the vice chairs of Marine Turtle Specialist Group of IUCN in the Mediterranean. So I am very excited to listen you, Dr. Kaska. Floor is yours.
Thank you. Thank you for everyone taking their time and being with us, our friends and our colleagues from all over the world, I would say, from Malaysia to Morocco and Libya. And as we all know, the sea turtle research basically starts on the beach. And the beach and this is how we started, actually. I just want to start with the nice video of egg laying process. The turtles come to the beach in the night, lay their eggs.
Yakup Kaska, we don't see your video. If you are showing us the video, we cannot see the video.
It doesn't show you?
No. Maybe you can share full screen.
It may not happen in the full screen. What about now?
Now it is coming. It is coming.
Okay, I think. So this is how we started, actually. We were all students maybe 30, 35 years ago, and we were only dealing with the egg laying process, protection of these nests, and spending the night on the beach and trying to do some activities during the day. And obviously, during this period, I was lucky enough to involve many research activities, both in Turkey and Cyprus. And we were patrolling all the beaches and doing the turtle work. Basically, we have loggerhead turtle, which is caretta, and the Chelonia midas, which is the green turtle. So seeing both species on the same beach of the Cyprus was very interesting. While you are dealing with one of the loggerhead, another green turtle just approaches from side of you and makes another nest just next to you. So these are some of the nice things that we all remember and how we started. And obviously, seeing these hatchlings after the 2 months of incubation coming like this, almost 10 times higher than their body size, which is the 50 centimeters of depth. They are coming by themselves, no help needed, and they are heading towards the sea. And these are the two magnificent things that we see actually during these beach monitoring activities. So after this, obviously, we started dealing with the embryonic development of the hatchlings. These are a kind of when the nest is predated, what is the size of the embryos, how big they are, and so on, and at which stage we can get their samples for embryonic development and so on. And the basic thing we started with afterwards was their sex ratios. Since they don't have sex chromosomes like us, their sex is determined by the incubation temperature during the incubation period. And by recording the temperature of the nest, we are getting the mean of the temperature during the middle third of the incubation period. At the same time, we are also collecting some dead hatchlings, and we are doing a sectioning of these gonads from the hatchlings, and with two different characteristics can enable us to identify their sex. If the gonad on the left, you can see here there is no tunica albuginea between the cortex and the medulla, and the oviduct is more circular. On the other hand, if it is a female, oviduct is elliptic in shape, and also there is a tunica albuginea, which is positive stain between cortex and medulla. So these are some of the early works that we started, and we have produced many information regarding to this. All I can say now is majority of the hatchlings are female dominated because of the global warming. Most of the nests we are getting in these days around 30, 31 degrees of Celsius, and which is producing nearly 80%, 85% from Turkish beaches are producing female-dominated sex ratios. Obviously, this sex ratio on the beach doesn't mean that we are getting all females in all these stages. The most important one is operational sex ratio. That is, how many males, adult males we have in the marine environment, and whether they are enough to mate with the females and they are able to produce viable eggs and the hatchlings. So these are the things that we need to consider in the future. Obviously, the genetic diversity of them and the sex ratio of them is two important aspects that we can keep monitoring them. Obviously, I just entered my presentation with these two interesting topics, but there are many other issues other than the climate change, such as plastic pollutions, threats on the nesting beaches, very high bycatch rates, and only 5% of the world loggerhead turtle population living in the Mediterranean, which is very smaller portion of the loggerhead turtle in the world. So we started also following them in the sea, where they are going, how they are going. This is one of the turtles' migration route. Can you see the map? The turtle is moving, how the post nesting movements of the turtle in the Mediterranean. And it goes basically from Turkey to Greece, to Malta, to get closer to Tunisia, and then to Italy. And then
dear Jakub, we cannot see any map.
Okay, then this is a kind of, I think I need to show it again from here.
Yes, it is okay right now.
Now you can see the movement of the turtle. So this is what we started, obviously, the monitoring of these turtles via satellites in the sea. So the turtles may be nesting in our beaches, but visiting many countries. That's why we need to make collaborations among those countries. And this is why we started having many collaborative projects among the Mediterranean countries. And because turtles are the ambassadors of the sea. They don't need a visa to go from one country to another. So they are basically following the footpaths of the people. Oops. So these are some of the turtles tracks that we have tracked over the last couple of years, and they just recently published. As you can see, the turtles nesting in Dalyan, basically some of them going to this part of the Mediterranean close to Israel and Egypt, and some of them going to Tunisia and Libya, obviously, these parts, and some of them, as I just showed, going into the Adriatic Sea, and some of them are staying in the Greek waters. So these are some of the items that we need to make collaborations among the partners in the Mediterranean. This is another map also showing the migration routes in the Mediterranean. I don't want to go into the details, but the most important thing is we need to make collaboration among the Mediterranean countries in order to protect these turtles, because they may be nesting on one beach, but feeding in another country, maybe wintering in another country. That's why we need to work in collaborative way. Basically, we can collect many data with the tracking as well. The migratory corridors, we can get their wintering grounds, whether is there any fisheries interaction. And also recently we are trying to identify important marine turtle areas. We know the beaches, but we don't know their migration routes and the feeding grounds in the Mediterranean. So these are also another publication that recently came out, foraging grounds of turtles and the interaction with the fisheries and the hotspots and the key sites. So as I said, important marine turtle areas is a new issue that we don't know yet how we are going to identify, but these are very important in addition to the nesting beaches that we all know about. And these are some of the examples of the turtle movements, heat maps of the turtles, where they are spending most of their times. So once we identify those hotspots, maybe we can get some limitations in the water sports activities, maybe fishing activities and other things, so that we can better protect these sea turtles. And also the temperature and the heat temperature is also very important, not only for turtles, but also for the seagrasses. Seagrasses are moving towards to the western part of the Mediterranean because of the very hot temperature in the eastern part of it. But most of the green turtles are nesting in the eastern part of the Mediterranean. But because of these habitat loss, maybe we started having the green turtle nest moving towards the western Mediterranean, as we had one in Tunisia and the one in Greece, and the recently one we had in Libya. And we had also in the western part of the Turkey as well.
Dear Jakub Kaska, if you are changing the slides, we are at the slide of satellite tracking.
Oh dear. In this case, I will not go with the slideshow. I think when I put the full screen, it doesn't really go. So I will move like this if it is okay.
Please don't make full screen, otherwise we will not see. Okay.
So this is the map that I was talking about. Because of these warm temperatures in the east, we started losing this Posidonia beds, moving towards to the west, and we started having more green turtle nests in Tunisia, Libya, and in Crete, even in the western part of Turkey. And we started having also the loggerhead turtle nest shifting towards to the western part of the Aegean Sea. And we started having a nest in Marmaris, in Izmir, and further even in the Çanakkale region up here. And obviously we are collaborating with many other countries under the MAVA project. We are trying to produce the nest temperatures and the beach temperatures from different countries. And we try to produce the temperature profile of the nesting beach as well as the water temperatures in the Mediterranean. Another work that we are doing is the stable isotope analysis from the turtles. Either they are stranded or nesting ones, and we try to make a kind of cumulative analysis among them, cluster analysis among them, try to identify their feeding grounds. And their feeding grounds can be identified easily from the isotopes. And we are also doing the rescue and the rehabilitation. And as Bülent mentioned, that we established the first sea turtle rescue center in Turkey as Dekamer, and we are getting around 30 to 50 turtles in a year, and we are 60% maybe releasing back, and maybe another 10-20 staying over the next year. I mean, staying over the winter, and these are some of the type of injuries. They are basically fishery-related injuries and deliberate, intentional injuries, and so on. We can do lots of work, both on the beach and in the sea and the rescue center and the lab. Obviously, I put this design as a summary of such examples, and these are some of the things that we have been doing. And I know that because of these slide things not moving smoothly, I may need to go and come back. I will now stop my presentation, and if there are some more questions, I would be very happy to answer after the talk or at the end, depending on the. And I want to say thanks, shukran, terima kasih, and teşekkür ederim in all languages that our partners will understand. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your very nice presentation and information about the sea turtles located in Turkey and all around Mediterranean. Regarding the questions, we would like to inform all participants that if you have any question, you can write them to chat box environment, and we will ask them to keynote speakers at the end of seminar. So I would like to invite the second keynote speaker. He is from Malaysia, Dr. Mohd Uzair Rusli. Before he is starting the presentation, I would like to give you short information about him and his team. He has master's degree from UMT from Malaysia and PhD degree from Queensland University, Australia. He is head of Field Research Laboratory Sea Turtle Research Unit. His research group studies the energetics of sea turtle hatchlings during their nest escaping process and how this energy consumption may affect the hatchlings' performance to swim in the open sea and survive until to become an adult. He and his team particularly interested in how hatchlings respond to environmental variation, such as sun types, humidity, gases exchange, temperature, and even environmental sound that influence the energetic cost of nest escape. The study mentioned here now entered the new niche area by incorporating animal energetics data simulation modeling software to predict oceanic dispersal of our hatchling in the South China Sea. In addition, he and his team also working in understanding how predatory relationship at the sea turtle research station, enabling better conservation practices. They combine lab-based experimental studies with the fieldwork and take an integrative approach that utilizes ecological, behavioral, and psychological methodologies. In the field, Dr. Uzair and his team utilize remote sensing technology to investigate the movement patterns and behaviors of predatory animals such as monitor lizards and black-tipped reef shark in relation to environmental conditions. So, floor is yours, Dr. Uzair.
Okay, thank you very much, Prof. Bülent ÇAVAŞ. First of all, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuh. Good morning, Turkey. Maybe good morning, Morocco, I guess, and maybe Libya. And good afternoon from Malaysia. And I am Uzair Rosli, currently affiliated with Sea Turtle Research Unit, or also known as SEATRU, the establishment of SEATRU back in 1984. So I am the third generation of the Sea Turtle Research Unit, actively working on the sea turtle conservation in Malaysia. So thank you very much, organizer. Thank you very much, Mr. President, Prof Samin, that initiate this program today. So I am more than happy to get invited and then to share with you guys about the our work together with all the collaborators coming to Malaysia. We are actively doing research together with the foreign researchers coming to Malaysia. Back before the COVID-19 hit the globe back in 2020, we are very active moving around from Malaysia towards another country. And then now Hamza also back to his country, back to Libya. But now we are reconnect again in the seminar. So today I want to share about the one of my study over here that about the finding small hatchlings in the big ocean. So previously, Prof Yaakob talked about how it is really hard for us to assess the condition of the sea turtle, especially while they are still small, because the significant phase of the sea turtles, they start their life on the beach and then they will move to the ocean. And then for us, we are interested to looking at the effect of possibly the pollution, especially for the microplastic pollution and also the oil pollution and some other environmental factor that may affect the sea turtle hatchlings. But first, we need to find these small hatchlings, these small tiny animals in the big ocean. It is quite challenging. Okay, so my work at University of Malaysia, Terengganu, before I go into much more detail about our research, so let me briefly describe about the life history of the sea turtles. Okay, so as Yaakob previously mentioned about the complexity of the life cycle of the sea turtles, they start their life on land in underground nest. So the incubation period will take about 2 months, and then they will affect with the global warming, due to now we are concerned about the production of the male hatchlings, due to the fact that if the incubation temperature rise more than 29 degrees Celsius, some other places they are predicted that they are producing more female. So now we are working on how to estimate the resilience of the sea turtles population dynamic in the global warming scenario. So the life history of the sea turtles, this is very, very sad story, because of only 1 to 1,000 of the sea turtles will get mature and then come back to their origin. So now in our work, this is the big question here about the lost years of the sea turtles. We only can get the sea turtles back to their origin, back to Terengganu or back to Turkey, and then after they reach the sexual maturity. So in the early 20 years before they reach the sexual maturity, this is the big question now. Where are our sea turtles? Because we have to wait until 20 years, then we know what happened to our sea turtles. So now, because we are interested to access how our conservation effort now, does it work or not, we have to wait until 20 years. So that's why in my research now, we are interested looking at the lost years of the sea turtle. So that's why in my presentation today, I will present to you about how we are finding the sea turtle hatchlings in the big ocean. Okay, so next. So this is about the hypothesis, solving life history mystery of the sea turtles in the South China Sea, because we are located, so we are in Malaysia over here in the Southeast Asia. So I am coming from Terengganu, the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. So this is Peninsular Malaysia. So this is Borneo. So the basic biology of Malaysia, by the way. Okay, so we are facing the South China Sea. So due to the fact of the mainland of China over here, so we are the southern part of the China. Okay, so I guess everyone familiar with China. So now we are in the South China Sea. Okay, so we are facing the South China Sea. So theoretically, in a single nesting season, we are released more than million hatchlings, millions, because of the sea turtles produce more. So not only one nest, they are actually can nest in the multiple nests up to 10 nests. So one nest, it consists of 100 sea turtle hatchlings. So now how we want to track these hatchlings that disperse. So disperse means that they are go all around the ocean. So how we want to find them to track them. So the theory is that hatchlings only rely on in-body reserve energy during the early swimming effort. So means that they don't need the extra energy. So they will rely the in-body energy. So if we can estimate how much energy that they have in body, so that we can estimate how far that they can go. Okay, so that's the first biological factor that we can access. So reserve energy reflects their swimming potential, and we actually can integrate this biological data into the ocean model software that we call Lagrangian-based particle tracking, used to determine the hatchlings dispersal range. So we incorporate the biological data into the ocean model. So we work together with the ocean modeling lab in the Institute of Oceanography. So see the biological team working together with the ocean modeling team, which is much of their work involved with the physical parameters of the ocean. Okay, so to solve the question, the biological question on the solving the life history of the sea turtle, finding these tiny animals in the big ocean. So this study will help in understanding of the differentiation of the population at foraging ground throughout the South China Sea. As Yaqub mentioned previously, that we need to work collaboratively with the neighboring country. So in your case, most of the sea turtles moving all around the Mediterranean Sea. So this is actually the small step for us to prove with the evidence-based mention that our sea turtles from this country, origin from this country, actually we are sharing the same natural heritage. Okay, so moving to the methodology. So estimating the sea turtle hatching reserve energy. So this is not the rocket science. This is, by the way, we are just estimating the oxygen consumption. So just like an athlete running on the treadmill, so we are assessing the oxygen consumption, and then we can quantify that and then convert it into the amount of energy that they use. So from the better digging performance, it will lesser the energetic cost. And then the theory is that lesser exposure time to the predator. So means that from our own hatchery, we want to produce the active hatchling so that they can escape from the near high predation area at the near shore area, and then they can have high chances of the survival. So another application from our study also, we are assessing how we incubate our sea turtles in the hatchery. So we are not only producing a lot of thousands or millions of hatchlings. Another question is that we want to produce as fit as possible the high quality of the hatchlings from our hatchery. Okay, so that's some sorts of the conservation effort happen. So this theory, social facilitation, lower the energetic cost of the nest escaping. As I told you that previously, some of the hatchery, they would prefer to split the clutch. Split the clutch meaning that one nest, it consists of 100 eggs. They split into two, they divide by two. So means that 50 hatchlings, 50 eggs, and 50 eggs into different incubation nests. So means that it will actually, ultimately, it will affect the amount of the energy used by the hatchlings to escape from this underground nest. So bear in mind that previously we discussed that the life of the sea turtle begin underground, okay, on the beach. So we need to produce high quality of the hatchlings. So if we produce hatchlings with the low energy, means that they will have low quality. So that is why, number one, practice on the hatchery, we cannot split the clutch into two. So let them dig together so that they can save a lot of energy, then they can have a lot of energy to swim faster, and they can sustain longer during their early swimming effort. So in our study back in 2016, I still remember last time the first time I presented outside from our lab back in the ISTS, 35th ISTS, organized by Yaqub last time, okay, at Pamukkale. That time I know Dr. Hamza, okay, a lot of friends working together with the sea turtles. On now we are coming back, reconnect again to work together with the sea turtle science again. So from our study, it shows that if we split the sea turtle hatchlings into two, they can use almost half of their energy. So in theory, normally they only use 10% of their reserve energy to escape from this underground nest, because they will take almost 1 week, 7 days for them to dig from this bottom until to reach the nest surface. It takes 1 week for them to spend. So they use a significant amount of energy. So that's why don't split the egg clutches, because it will affect the dispersal of the sea turtle hatchlings. Okay, so this is in Malaysia, in the South China Sea, we are influenced by the different monsoon season. So means that if we produce our hatchlings in the different month, all the hatchling will push towards another region. So this is actually how the complex population created in the South China Sea, because of the mix up of the genetic pool from the single population area. So means that if we go to the Borneo Island, and then one of the interesting point is that we found that 60% of the stranded turtles in the Taiwan Strait at the top over here, they are coming from Terengganu area. So meaning that from our area. So that's why we need to work collaboratively with the Taiwan scientists, work together to find, to get the blood reference for the sea turtles. Okay, so in 100 days, actually they can swim up to a different area. It will produce different results. So to make it short, a single hatchlings, actually they don't need to eat. They can swim up to 7 days non-stop. So that's why we said it, swimming frenzy. Okay. This is our publication previously. The first publication that integrate the data on the biology and then also the ocean model. So it shows that the oceanic dispersal model of green turtle hatchlings in the South China Sea is affected by the different monsoonal season. Okay, so you can find our paper on that. And this is one of the evidence that we found that the compaction of the fine sand in nest increased the energy usage to the escape. So this is back to how we want to establish the hatchery. So we need to consider about the sand that we use in the hatchery. So in conclusion, I spoke about how we determine the dispersal of the hatchlings by using the biological data, integrate that data together with the ocean model. So basically dispersal of the hatchlings in the South China Sea in a big ocean, it influenced by number one, number of the hatchlings digging out in the nest. So means that if they are digging in the small group, they will have less energy, it will affect the dispersal. Number two, the sand characteristic, which is the fine sand or the coarse sand, it will also affect the sea turtle dispersal. And number three, location of the natal beach, because of the different location, it will have the different water current characteristic. And the last one, the time of the living of the beach. So means that throughout the year, if we produce at the same location facing that particular beach, even though we are facing the same ocean, but if we release them in the different time, it will go to the different area due to the fact of the monsoon season, because of the direction of the wind, it will affect the sea turtles. That also might be answered for why the sea turtle very resilient since the dinosaur era, why with a lot of the challenge that faced by the sea turtles until now, they still can survive. But now they are facing with the human interruption in their population. So now we have to work fast with science. We need to work collaboratively. So now I am from University of Malaysia Terengganu, would like to invite everyone here to connect with all those different scientists that we need to work together to make sure that the collaboration to speed up, to enhance our scientific finding because of we risk with the extinction of these animals. Okay, so to connect with us, you just go to our social media, see through UMT, University of Malaysia Terengganu, and then you can find us with the various platform. And also, you just send email to the INOC committee, and then we can get connected again. Thank you once again for the organizer, and thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you very much for your presentation. Once again, and as I mentioned before, if you have any questions, you can send them to the chat box environment, and we can collect them, and we can ask them to keynote speaker at the end of this seminar. And I would like to invite the next presenter, Professor Mustafa Aksiso from Morocco. Before his presentation, I want to also give some information about his academic background. He is member of the NASNet Executive Committee. He is active in research and conservation of sea turtles in Atlantic and Mediterranean Morocco since 2001. He is a member of Marine Turtle Specialist Group. He is the coordinator of National Action Plan for Sea Turtles in Morocco in 2021. In addition, he is the coordinator of the Marine Biodiversity Conservation Expert since 2018. He is the president of Association of Protection of Marine Turtles in Morocco since 2008 and chair of Nominating Committee of International Sea Turtle Symposium in 2022. He involved in several meetings, conferences, and symposia on sea turtle biology and conservation in Morocco, the Mediterranean, and in ISTS. Floor is yours, Dr. Mustafa Aksiso.
Okay.
Hakan, can you share the screen?
We are
sharing your PowerPoint.
Okay, thank you. I am happy to be here and to do my presentation. My name is Mustafa Aksiso. I am from Morocco. I am professor in the university. The next, please. Next.
Just a second, Mustafa.
The next, my presentation is entitled Sea Turtles in Morocco. As you know, the Kingdom of Morocco extends over the Mediterranean and Atlantic Ocean with a coastline of 3,500 kilometers. Loggerheads are the most commonly reported species in this region, and juveniles and subadults are the most common age classes encountered. The next, please. You see the map of Morocco. The next, please. Some beaches in Morocco. The next. The next, please. Efforts have been underway since many years ago, and more intensively since 2003 to survey potential nesting beaches in Morocco, organize sea turtles workshops at major ports, and recruit and train fishermen to collect data on turtles caught in their gears. The next slide, please. Now, extensive beach surveys and evaluation of potential nesting areas, the recruitment and the training of fishermen, and greater involvement by local NGOs. students, universities, the government, and the general public in marine conservation are necessary to promote the importance of Morocco in the conservation of loggerheads in the Atlantic and the Mediterranean, and to establish an effective sea turtle conservation program in the country. The next, please. In Morocco, we have 3 species: Caretta caretta, Dermochilis, and Chelonia midas. But the Caretta is about 95%. The next, you see a photo with students. They work with us in some subjects about sea turtles. The next. So we survey potential nesting in beaches in the south of Morocco. You see some photos from some years ago. We survey the potential nesting beaches. The next slide. We do some workshops. You see some photos with the fishermen. We have the major data from the fishermen. The next, some workshops in the south of Morocco. The next, in the north of Morocco, we have a good cooperation with the fishermen. The next, in the Mediterranean, some workshops also. Next, in the Al Husima on the Mediterranean side. The next, we have some data about the bycatch. The next, we give a questionnaire to fishermen to have data about the fishermen, about the gears, and about the bycatch. Next, our students ask fishermen in the field to have data. The next, I have the next. You see some photo with fishermen. Next. The next slide, please. Our student with fishermen. Some photos with the sea turtles on the boat, caught by the gears, different gears. We have the scene. We have the other gears. Next. Some photos sent by the fishermen who cooperate with us. Also, we work on the stranding. We have a network on the Atlantic side and on the Mediterranean side by students, by other person. Every time they sent us some picture of different sea turtle stranded on the beaches. The next, you see some results, some photos. The next, also the next. When sometimes we bring the sea turtles to do some works on the laboratory to search, for example, the gut contents. The next, with my children, we have sometimes stranding on the beaches, on the near Tangier, on the Strait of Gibraltar. This photo is from 2010. The next, my daughter. The next, when the animal's body is in good condition, we can do some analysis of digestive tract contents from loggerhead sea turtles stranded along the northwest of Morocco. The next, you see our work on laboratory. The next, so digestive tracts contents were dominated by fish, crustaceans, and also mollusks. The next, we also study the use in the past before the use of sea turtles in the past before 2007. After this date, some photos, you see the use of sea turtles in the past. But now we haven't the use in at this moment. The next, also the use in the past. The next, in conclusion, we can I can tell that artisanal fisheries in Morocco, we have less of 1% of interactions per sea trip. The next, in the coastal fisheries, we have less of 5% of interactions per sea trip. The size classes we have most are sub-adult between 50 and 70 centimeters CCL. The next, most interactions are in the summer. And we do posters in 3 languages, in Arabic, in English, in French, about data on sea turtles in Morocco. You see here, for example, the poster in English about data on sea turtles in Morocco. You see loggerhead, careta, into Mediterranean, in some places or beaches on Mediterranean, on Atlantic. Sometimes we have loggerhead stranded near Tangier because of oil pollution, and rehabilitation in our laboratory and the release of these sea turtles in the sea. I take this opportunity to thank you and to invite you for the next conference about marine turtles, which be held in Tétouan in Morocco next October. So we will organize the 7th Mediterranean Conference on Marine Turtles in next October 2022. Welcome. This picture is from the past conference in Poreč in Croatia. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your presentation, Professor Mustafa. And I would like to remind once again, if you have any question, you can send them to chat box. We will ask them to keynote speakers at the end of seminar. I would like to invite the next presenters. He is from Libya. He is Professor Dr. Abdulmawla Hamza. Before his presentation, I would like to inform you about his academic background. He obtained first degree from Zoology Department, University of Tripoli. Later joined the Environment General Authority in 1997 and worked in Nature Conservation Department, participated in National Sea Turtle Surveys in 1998. In 2004, he obtained 2 master degrees from Tripoli University on freshwater biology and from UK Leeds University on biodiversity and conservation. In 2005, he worked with other colleagues on the foundation of Libyan Sea Turtle Program to monitor nesting activity and raise the awareness on the importance of Libyan shoreline and marine waters. In 2014, he moved to Malaysia to work as senior lecturer in marine conservation for 7 years at University of Malaysia, Terengganu, conducted with his students several research works on turtle bycatch, microplastic, and sex ratio estimations, in addition to several seabird monitoring at East Coast Small Island. In 2021, he returned to Libya and joined the Faculty of Education, University of Tripoli, as Assistant Professor of Vertebrate Biology. He has more than 25 peer-reviewed articles and conducted several expert works with UNEP, IUCN, and WWF. Lately, he was the lead expert to review the MAVA Mediterranean Marine Turtle Project and envisage the way forward for conserving turtle within this project in the next phases. He is currently one of the members of Marine Turtle Specialist Group. And he represents Libya in the recently formed North African Sea Turtle Network, NASNET. Floor is yours, Dr. Abdul Maula.
Thank you, Professor Bonnet. Thank you for the kind invitation. I'm happy to be with friends and former colleagues, Dr. Ozair Rusli and Dr. Ong from Malaysia, and also colleagues from friends from Morocco and Turkey, Dr. Kaska and Dr. Aksisu. Thank you for the invitation again. I will talk generally on the state of knowledge of sea turtles in Libya. And I will start, I'll start with the history background. Libya was in the old maps of the Greeks and the former civilizations for a long time, and most of the North Africa was called Libya at the time. The coastline is about, it's located in North Africa or South Mediterranean, as you see it. And the coastline is about 1,970 kilometers. Of it, about 1,140 is a sandy beaches. And that's why Libya is very important for sea turtles. Almost 90% of the people are literate, so they can read and write. And the Mediterranean coastline and the Sahara Desert are maybe the most prominent features, natural features of the country. Libyan history have passed through all the prehistoric Romans, Phoenicians, Greeks, Islamic era, Spanish, Ottomans, Italians, British Mandate, and finally independence in 1951. And maybe you know Libya from the news. I assure you that I lived outside Libya since 2008, and I came back in 2021, and then lots of things that in the media are not right. I mean, the people are flourishing and living, and the businesses are very good. So I was also taken by the media for some time. So a diversity of civilizations passed on Libya through history. The talk elements today, after this brief history, is about the legal and management aspects of sea turtles populations in Libya, general information on diversity and distribution of marine turtles in Libya, nesting activity monitoring, sex ratio, genetic variability, and satellite tracking. I will touch on each of these 6 topics very fast, bearing in mind that we don't have enough time to go in details. So, as you know, Libya is a contracting party to many international conventions, among them the Barcelona Convention, where the Mediterranean Action Plan for sea turtles is working since the 1990s. And in 2002, a national action plan was set up. I was honored to be the consultant who did that in 2002, and then updated it in 2020, last 2 years. And in generally, it's illegal to consume meat or eggs of sea turtles or disturb any species of turtles or tortoises in Libya. The Libyan Sea Turtle Program have been founded in 2005 with the main as the main national program to monitor sea turtles in the country, and there is an increasing role since 2011 of the several NGOs that now are partnering with the Libyan Sea Turtle Program, which is a governmental program, to work at many beaches that the government cannot cover alone. This is a poster of the workshop to discuss and approve the updated National Action Plan of sea turtles in 2020, which was organized within the Conservation of Marine Turtle Project, a MAVA-funded project, and the Regional Activity Center for Specially Protected Area. When it comes to general information on diversity and distribution, 3 species of sea turtles can be found in Libya: loggerhead, greens, and leatherbacks. However, loggerheads are the main nesting species in the country and most important for the North African countries, because Libya hosts the highest proportion of nesting for this species in North Africa compared to Egypt or Tunisia or Algeria. As Dr. Professor Casca mentioned before, there is a move of sporadic nesting towards the west for green turtles, and 1 nest have been recorded in 2021 in Libya, and 1 nest was recorded in 2020, I believe, in Tunisia, which is an apparent expansion towards the Western Mediterranean. And the main nesting areas for the sea turtle, for the loggerhead sea turtles, are located at the central and the eastern coastlines of the country. The main problem of sea turtle nests are predation. Natural predation by red foxes, jackals are common for clutches for red foxes, and for nesting adults by jackals sometimes. Nesting females can be predated by jackals. Egg poaching is illegal, but practiced at limited sites, and the Libyan Sea Turtle Program worked hard with the local authorities to stop this egg poaching and egg selling. As you know, in many other countries of the world, there is a belief that eggs are good for fertility diseases, and this is, in fact, we have even contacted some of the top gynecologists in the country to speak out in the social media to say that this is not scientifically proved, and people need to stop egg poaching. But egg poaching and selling is not that widespread. It's only in 1 or 2 sites along the coast. All data from 2005 until 2019 were collated together to rank the most important nesting sites in terms of track density and nest density. And this is generally the zones of nesting as we divided it in the Libyan Sea Turtle Program. So we have about 5 zones of almost 2,000 kilometers of coast. And this table shows you, anyway, so this is the curved carapace length for stranded sea turtles. I wanted to put this because stranding of turtles because of bycatch in fisheries is also a threat to sea turtles in Libya. And as you see, the area of Sirte and Zouara have, maybe Zouara, which is the far west, northwest town of Libya near the Tunisian border, have 38 stranded turtles in one site in 2019, which is alarming because of interaction with fisheries, not only by Libyan fishermen, but also by neighboring Tunisian fishermen. When it comes to nesting monitoring activity, about 28 nesting beaches are monitoring annually by the field teams of the Libyan Sea Turtle Program, the LibSTP, and partner organizations. Nesting data are collected in standardized manner to guarantee data quality and also consistency. All sub-region data are sent to the at the end of the season to the LibSTP coordinator for an annual report. So every year we publish an annual report with the nesting monitoring activities. And nesting monitoring is supported by national funds from the government, but also with the small grants from RAXPA and other donors. RAXPA is a UNEP center in the Mediterranean for marine biodiversity. Ongoing training and nest monitoring techniques are conducted each year using hands-on way, which can save the allocated international save funds for allocated for international training sessions. And Libya can also in future can play a hub for training for the Arabic-speaking countries in North Africa, and why not for other Islamic countries as well. So this graph shows you the data from 25 to 2019. And as you see, the area of Sirte, which is the center of the country at the Gulf of Sirte, have the highest tracks density per kilometers, reaching about 17 tracks per kilometers, followed by Cyrenaica, which is the east region, and Misrata, which is the western region. Here, this table shows the top 10 sites for sea turtle, loggerhead sea turtle nesting based on the data. These are all the raw data. And as you see, there are some gaps for some years because of, as you know, since 2011, things were not settled well in Libya, so there were lots of gaps. But however, we managed to collect all the data and put nest density as a nest per kilometer on the available years. For Al-Gbeba, which is near the city of Sirte, only 20 kilometers to the west of the city of Sirte, there are 103 nests, almost 104 nests per kilometer when it comes to the general average of the years of nesting, followed by Talatin and Shash and West Camp. All of these, so the top five nesting sites are located near Sirte, the town of Sirte. In Ghazala is located to the east of the country, near the Egyptian border, and all of the others are located to the east of the country as well. Sex ratio estimation is another topic that the Libyan Sea Turtle Program have been involved in since 2012. And Libya is located at the affected country, within the affected country with climate change and global warming. Sorry. Okay. Stand temperature is controlled, as you know, stand temperature is controlling the hatchling gender in baby turtles, so where high temperature above 29 can produce more females and lower than 29 will produce more males. The first investigation was conducted by Imad Jaribi, myself, and my colleague Al-Mukhtar Saeed in 2013, and found the nests produced in Libya are averaging between 70 to 85% of females in the area of Sirte. Within the MABA-funded project and more sampling of temperature data in the nests, more data are processed now with Decamer, with Professor Yaqub Kaska, and we hope to have another publication soon for a pan-Mediterranean scenario of sex ratio and the impact of elevated temperature on the future of balance of gender in hatchlings for loggerhead sea turtles. Mitigation measures on mid-wide scale need to be set for the feminization of clutches, And the fifth topic is the genetic variability, and here Libya also provide a very unique scenario for genetic variability. Some papers even say that when the Mediterranean have been dried out, the only a big lake in front of Libya stayed as the only refuge for marine life in the Mediterranean, and that's why lots of diversity is linked to Libyan sea turtles. Sorry. 6 different haplotypes based on marine mitochondrial DNA fragments have been identified in Libyan samples, and both data sets are agreed to in identifying Libya as the most genetically diverse nesting area in the Mediterranean. 5 management units also identified by Clousa et al. In 2018, and among them Libya and Cyprus are one unit because of genetic similarity, and also and this suggests that more complex breeding behavior pattern is happening for the turtles. And as my friend Jakub said, turtles do not need visa. That's why turtles from Cyprus and Libya find themselves together, breeding on the same countries every time. And more recently, Casca et al. In press identified further unique haplotypes. I think maybe Dr. Casca can correct me. There are other 6 haplotypes, new haplotypes, specific for Libya. And this number can be increased with the increase of sampling coverage. And we hope in future to collaborate with the other colleagues. I was in Turkey 2 weeks ago, and we talked together with Dr. Carlos Carreras from Barcelona University, and he is interested to start up a genomic assessment of genetic sea turtle structure for the Mediterranean. And we hope that in future we will use the genomics as a further amplified genetic variability in Libya. This table are taken where it shows you the first 3 lines here. Misrata, Cert A, and Cert B are all Libyan sites, and here it shows you that some haplotypes like CCA2.1 is shared among Libya, Calabria, Cyprus, Crete, Lebanon, and many other countries. While other haplotypes like CC, which is Careta A26.1, is only exclusive to CERT area in CERT area A and CERT area B, and also A65.1 is also exclusive, cannot be found anywhere in the Mediterranean. A68 is also in CERT area, and so on. So we have a mixture of haplotypes shared with the other countries, but also we have several haplotypes which are unique to Libyan population rookeries of marine turtles. For satellite tracking, I think Dr. Jakub mentioned before the need for collaboration, because the turtles breeding in Fethiye in Turkey are ending up in the Libyan coast or Tunisian coast after they finish breeding. And that's why we also, during 2007-2009, we have monitored 6 loggerhead turtles with Argos satellite tracking devices. And most of them moved northwest to the Gulf of Gabes. We know, all of us, that the Gulf of Gabes is very important overwintering area and post-nesting area in the Gulf of Gabes. But unfortunately, the Gulf of Gabes also is the hotspot for fisheries in the Tunisian waters, and we hope that mitigation measures for bycatch will be applied to minimize the number of turtles bycaught in the fisheries. Others, like this one to the left, have taken all the way from Tripoli. It was kept in the aquarium of the Marine Center for several months. It was a male turtle, and then it took directly a trip to southern Italian waters, and even entered the mouth of the Adriatic Sea. other tracking studies from other Mediterranean countries, like, and I'm sharing the same photo of Dr. Yaqub, for the turtles tracked from Turkey, and also from the turtles tracked from Northern Cyprus, and the turtles tracked from Greece. So they all ending up using the Libyan waters somehow as a post-nesting phase scenario, and then and also as a feeding ground for green turtles as well. So that's why Libyan waters have a regional importance for all turtles rookeries in the Mediterranean. Other studies has also showed the importance of Libyan waters to other species of turtles, the green turtles, Chilonomidas. And as you see here, stocks in 2015 have collated all the tracking data from Northern Cyprus along the years, and found that 8 and 7 and 2 in total 16 turtles have ended up in the Libyan waters. So more than half of the turtles from Northern Cyprus ending up, I mean not ending up, traveling to the Libyan waters for post-nesting period. I was lucky to be involved also in the establishment of the NASNet, the North African Sea Turtle Network, and with other colleagues from the 5 countries in North Africa. Here is the president of the NASNet, Dr. Imad Jribi from Tunisia, and all the other colleagues from different countries, including Mr. Mustafa Aksisu. And this photo was taken 3 weeks ago in the Republic of Benin in West Africa, where we had a conference, a meeting among 3 networks active in the conservation of sea turtles in Africa: the NASNet, Rastoma from West Africa, and WASCOM from the other side of West Africa, Liberia, Senegal, and that side. Rastoma from the Central African area. And then this have allowed us to further, because NASNet now is under development with the project funded by CPF, and we hope NASNet will be active player representing all North African countries in future for turtle conservation. If you want further information, more detailed information on sea turtles in Libya, this is our book that have been sponsored by Regional Activities Center for Specially Protected Area, the UNEP Center, in 2020. And this is the link. So please, if you could write, I will put this in the chat room, tinyurl.com libturtle, and then you can download a full copy of this book for free. This book will give you more detailed information on sea turtles in Libya. It's divided into 5 different chapters, and you will find many answers on your questions about this in this book. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you again for the invitation.
Thank you very much for your presentation. It is very informative and attractive presentation. Thanks once again for your presentation. So we have some questions. The first question goes to Yakup Kaska. The question is, there is huge tourism activities in Turkey in Mediterranean coastline. So the question is how you protect the sea turtles from these huge tourism activities in Turkey?
Well, thank you. I thank for whoever is asking the question, but the thing is, we try to make a kind of zoning of the beaches, a zone for the nests that can be caged, and the people can put their umbrellas and the desk chairs behind the zoning. And we usually put wood sticks to make a line between these borders. And the other application that we apply, actually, we ask hoteliers and the others to use the red lights, because the red lights don't disturb the turtles. So the more red lights they use in their hotels and the restaurants, the better protection for the sea turtles. Obviously, we are also providing information to the hotel owners and the night watchers, how they can protect. In a way, they are helping us to identify and locate of the nest, actually, some of the hotels and the partners. So we try to get closer to them and get help from them and make collaboration. And even some of the hotels, we are providing a kind of turtle-friendly stakeholder so that they are collaborating with us. And this is our responsibility, that we don't need to create enemies. We need to create collaborators. We need to approach them in a friendly way so that we can protect in a collaborative way. Turtles are our inheritance for our future, and they all know this. Maybe 20 years ago, hotel builders were against me, saying that there are no turtles here. Please don't say that there are turtle nests here. I want to build a hotel here. But the same hotel is approaching me. There is a nest in front of my hotel. Please come and help us to protect this nest, because my tourists, my customers are happy when we show them that we are protecting the sea turtle nest. And this is how it is changed over the last 20 or 30 years. And this is the case for all the stakeholders, actually. We need to make collaborations. It is not only a responsibility of scientists or conservationists to protect all the nest. We need to make collaboration. And that's why if there is a nest in front of a hotel, they are calling our 24-hour open telephone, and they are sending the picture, and the next morning we are going and caging the nest and giving them information. So this is the approach that we are using. Thank you.
The second question is that we have students in here and listening us. So if they want to work voluntarily, how can contact with you or your team?
Okay, thank you. I will also write on the chat that in the Decamer.org.tr web page, they can apply for a minimum of 1 month, and we can cover their food and accommodation if they apply for this. And we accept volunteers all year around, no matter whether they are students. If they are free in the winter months, they are also very welcome to stay with us. We are providing also facilities for the looking after the injured turtles. So the biology students, veterinary students, fisheries students, and all type of people can apply, no matter they have a specialized skills. We are teaching them what to do, how to handle, and how to look after the turtles, and so on.
Okay, thank you very much for your information. The second question is for Dr. Üzeyir. The participant is asking whether you have a master and PhD program or not. If you have master program, what is the criteria for to apply?
Okay, yes, we do offer the postgraduate study for master and also the PhD. And we can do like this. You can register with us for University of Malaysia Terengganu, and you can get the co-supervisor from all around the globe. For example, you are coming from Turkey or maybe Iran, Morocco, and so on. We can appoint them as the co-supervisor. Okay, but if you want to be the full student, stay with us over here. We need to do the international document assessment. So simply you can connect with me. I already wrote on the chat box over here. Connect with me through the WhatsApp, or maybe you can just email me so that we can access you your document. Okay, umt.uzai.umt.edu.my. Hang on. .my. Okay, so you can email me or you can WhatsApp me so that I can assist you in terms of the application for the postgraduate study. Or if you want, maybe you can want to come over here for the short period. We offer you for the internship program. So you can ask us, at least you can stay with us for 1 month for the international internship program for free. We not charge you at all. You just come over here. You can maybe learn about our culture and seek opportunity about the research over here. And then we can talk about the more serious thing about continuous study over here. Okay.
Okay, you have a second question. How does the time of leaving the beach assist in energy saving?
Sorry, once again?
How does the time of leaving the beach assist in energy saving?
Okay, so most of the time, typically, naturally, all the sea turtle hatchlings will emerge from their underground nest at night time. So because they will use the temperature as the cue, the natural cue for them to escape from this underground nest. Because the digging activity, it doesn't happen continuously. It will take place intermittently, means that they will have the active digging activity and then they will stop for a few hours and then they will start digging again. So once they reach the exactly just before the surface, and then they will stop and wait for the cue for the temperature sudden drop. So means that at nighttime, normally just after the sunset, so after 1 or 2 hours, there will be the sudden temperature drop, and that's their natural cue to emerge. So normally at nighttime, they will save more energy to escape because of the less heat during nighttime and also less predation happen.
Thank you very much for your explanation. The next question is for Mustafa Aksiso. The question is related to how do you integrate society to protect the sea turtles in Morocco? In your presentation, you showed us you collected some data from fishing people, but what about the people? What about the society? How their awareness to sea turtle?
We do workshops with fishermen to protect sea turtles. This is the first objective, because the fisherman is the man who is every time in the sea. We do some awareness for students, and our students can also do the awareness for the people. We do some presentation in radio, in television, in some World Day events, so the people can know our objective, our work on sea turtles. So, for example, with social media, Facebook, we have different ways to sensibilize the people and all persons about this subject.
Okay, thank you very much for your explanation. We have last one question. It is for Dr. Abdul Maula Hamza. In your presentation, you showed us top 10 sites, and there are some decreases in nesting sites. So is it connected with tourism developments in these sites, or these nesting sites are protected by governmental law?
Now, the decrease of nesting trend there are two cycles of nesting. That some years are very good years and some years are not that good. And the other thing is the amount of effort to monitor the nesting beaches. And as you know, Libya after 2011 was waking up from a civil war, and the security issue was affected many areas that our teams cannot access for a few years. Alhamdulillah, now almost all sites are accessible with no problems. So that's the main thing. I mean, it might be because of natural cycles of high and low nesting seasons, and also it certainly the issue of security in the past years was affected a lot the amount of monitoring our teams can do on the beaches.
Okay, thank you very much. So I think we came to end of the seminar. I would like to get your final words one by one. Dr. Jakub Kaska, what is your final word for sea turtles?
Well, thank you. My final word, not for the sea turtles, but for the audience first, would be a kind of collaborative approach to save the sea turtles. This is what we know each other among the panelists, that the turtle people is like a family. So we are maybe living in different countries, but we are collaborating in most of the cases. So no matter whether you are a student at different university or as a researcher, we are open to collaborations. For example, I provided data loggers to my colleagues in Libya, in other countries, and we are collecting and analyzing the results. So the same can be applied to Uzair or Mustafa or other colleagues who are listening us. And this is one thing. The other thing, probably Mustafa said that we are gathering as a Mediterranean colleagues as well, and internationally as well. But last week, we had a first virtual conference in Australia, in Perth. Normally, because of the COVID, we couldn't travel there. But every year we are gathering together. So the next year it will be in Colombia. But before that, for the Mediterranean colleagues, our President Mustafa will host us in Morocco in October, later year. So visiting and sharing such information is very good for us. And the other information for sea turtles, you cannot really say that you save the sea turtles by doing good things in 1 year or 2 years. You need to continue the same efforts more than 25 years so that you can get the benefits and the offsprings of the hatchlings that you saved. So for countries, for organizations, need to continue their conservation efforts for more than 25 years so that we can get the better protection of the sea turtles. Collaboration and the long-term commitment are the two necessary things in order to protect the sea turtles. Thank you for your organization of this exchange of information among us. And I'm so grateful to be among the panelists. And we are open to support any students, any researchers, if they are dealing with the marine ecosystem in general, no matter whether it's a sea turtle, but in general, seagrass or water temperature or everything is related. So we are open to such collaborations, no matter within the Islamic network, but among the Mediterranean or all the water in the oceans. Thank you.
Thank you very much. By the way, I received a last minute question from Iran. It is for all presenters. He is asking, as you know, the satellite tracking is very expensive method to track turtle. Is there any alternative method that give us some information?
Well, I briefly mentioned this, but I didn't go into the details. Stable isotope analysis provides us where the turtle spent and fed over the 6 months or 2 months and so on. The tissue that you are using may be blood or skin or scut. So by analyzing the isotope levels of carbon and the nitrogen, and you can identify whether these turtles are migrating and feeding in the same locations or different locations. This is one thing. The other thing is, as we briefly mentioned, genetic diversity. So when we identify the turtles in the genetic diversity, we try to identify where they are nested and where they are going and so on. But the satellite tracking is providing a kind of day-to-day activities. And obviously, these are the money that we found from the sponsors. So the sponsorship is available for the protection of the sea turtles. So you cannot swim and follow a turtle for 2 years in the marine environment, but spending, let's say, 4,000, 5,000 euros for a turtle to identify where they are feeding ground and wintering ground and so on. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the answer. So, Dr. Uzair, may I get your final words for this seminar?
Okay, my final word may be advice to the students and also other researchers together with us this afternoon or morning over there. Sea turtles make me travel all around the globe. I know a lot of different people. We learn a lot with the different culture people. So I think this is an opportunity to everyone. If you are interested with this very, very unique organisms, so the first thing that you can do, you can offer yourself to volunteer or help any professors that working with the sea turtles. Get yourself dirty, go to the field and join them and feel it by yourself so that you can gain a lot of experience. So from that, we can talk about the research question, a very nice observation, and then we can develop the research question together. Don't think about money or don't think about registration with the university yet. So let's go to the field together and volunteer yourself. And then you can contact me or any of the professor here, and then we can discuss more about the collaboration. So normally the sea turtle, we get supports from all the corporate sponsor, just like what we talked previously about the satellite tracking. So normally we will get support. So don't worry about the funding yet. So the first thing, get your passion first, and then we can do a lot of things with the sea turtle conservation. That's all from me. Thank you, the organizer.
Thank you very much. Dr. Mustafa, we are waiting for your final comments.
Okay, I thank you, Bülent ÇAVAŞ. I think for the sea turtles, there is no frontiers. So we must work together. We must have cooperation between all countries in the world to have a good life for sea turtles. I have this opportunity to invite you in the next Mediterranean conference on sea turtles in Tétouan, Morocco, in next October between 18th and 21 October 2022. And thank you very much.
Inshallah, we will be there. Thank you very much for your invitation. So, final word from Abdul Maula Hamza.
Thank you, Dr. ÇAVAŞ. I will not talk about sea turtles because everybody talked enough on sea turtles, but I would like to orient my final words to INOC. This is my second interaction with the INOC. My first time was invited by INOC in 2005 for the international workshop on marine and coastal protected areas with the University of Meknes in Morocco in March 2005. And I think the model of work of INOC, bringing all scientists from Islamic countries, is a very unique niche, and I hope INOC will expand. And I see the website are full of activities and events. So I wish you all the best in your work. Thank you, Dr. ÇAVAŞ and Dr. Şermin, for hosting this event. And we wish to work with you in future on other events as well. Thank you.
So thank you very much. And I would like to show your certificates. I want to thank you, Professor Dr. Yakup Kaska, for your presentation and contribution to INOC, and Dr. Maud Uzair Rusli. Thanks again for your very nice presentation. And Dr. Abdul Maula Hamza, thank you very much for your contribution to INOC. And finally, Professor Dr. Mustafa Aksiso, thanks for your very nice presentation and invitation to Morocco. And inshallah, we will be there. I think this is the end of the seminar. Once again, thank you very much for your participation and contribution. I would like to also thank all participants who joined us today. Also, thank you very much. So, bye from Turkey. Bye-bye. Have a nice day.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Bye. Assalamualaikum.
Perhaps we can have photo together.
Actually, this is a recorded session, so we will have YouTube. I can send you the YouTube link so that you can take any kind of photo.
Okay.
You can watch later on. Thank you very much once again.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.